Howdy fixers. So today we are going after the head gasket on this 97 Tacoma, the 2ZRFE, whatever you want to call it. And so first thing I'm going to start doing is as you saw in the video, there's a whole bunch of coolant that came gushing out of this hole here. You look down there, you actually see some coolant. Moving the engine right now, or the car, and you can see it back and forth. So first thing I'm going to do is drain the coolant. You want to take this metal tube out, and you want to go ahead and start working on getting the hose off the radiator. The next step is I'm going to go ahead and take all this intake stuff off here. And there's two 12s underneath here you're going to take off. Get this out of the way. So now that this is all out of the way, get a little more room underneath. 12 there. So now this is out of the way. We have this out of the way. You press this little tab right here, it comes out. Connectors off. Your next step is you want to mark all your wires. And then we'll go ahead and take off our bolts right there for our coils. And take that off the head. So your next step is you want to take these 12s off. And then I've sprayed my exhaust manifold with PB. And then I'm just going to go take these. I think they're all 13s or 14s off. And first you gotta get these 10s on this 10 shield. That should be good. Next steps, you want to take these 14 loose after your 10 shields out of the way. Now that we're underneath, we're gonna go after our 3 14 bolts that hold the exhaust manifold. I'm trying to get a good video here. There's one right there. So you're just gonna get 3 of those. So after you got the 3 bolts on the bottom, there's actually a cross pipe that goes across the intake. I'm going to take these 2 nuts loose. You see this bolt right here? That's a 13. You got to take that loose in order for us to get our manifold to come over. So once it's loose, it will come down and get out of the way. Now that this is off, you want to save your gaskets because your new gaskets may look differently. You want to make sure you have the right gaskets. So next steps are taking a fan off, so you want to take a screwdriver and a 12 long wrench, like this one, and break your nuts loose, and then we'll take our fan loose, and then we'll get our shroud out of the way. So now that our fan's loose, we're going to go ahead and take a 14 there in the middle of our pulley, and then we're going to take that 14 there loose, and we're going to take our belt off. While you're at it, you want to go ahead and take this 12 loose, and then we'll take our dipstick completely out so it's out of the way. Let's see if I get my stumbly fingers here off. I'll get this. And point. That's loose. Fan's a little looser. We'll get that off. You're gonna want to take the screws out of your fan shroud to get it out of the way for your fan to come out. Alright. So now that it's out of the way, you want to go ahead and mark your belt PS. And we'll go ahead and take this bracket off, which is 2 12s, and then we'll go after a power steering pump. So now we're going after the power steering pump. There's 3 14 bolts, and you have to use these holes here to get through there. So you gotta get your bolts kind of loose in order that you can move your power steering pump back and forth like that. So you can actually get the bolts out. Here's this one, it's out. And the last, there's only 2 on this one. There might be 3 on yours. There it goes. You want to make sure you mark all your vac looms, especially for the power steering pump. Like right to left, or left to right, just 1, 2. So now that the power steering pump's out of the way, we're going to go ahead and we're going to half this. These are 12s. A couple more 12s over here in the middle. And there's a bracket that holds this other side of the plenum. But we're going to half this plenum so it's easier to get to everything else. You want to take these loose. There's a 12 and a 14. Take these lines loose. And then you want to mark your lines and take all these lines off. Next step, we're going to go after our EGR here. You want to make sure you get all your bracket bolts loose like this that are holding your wiring harness on. There's quite a few of them. So So there's a few connectors you want to take loose. It's going to make it easy for you to take stuff apart. So you just want to go through and press the connectors and get things out of the way. So I think this is for your EGR, but I could be mistaken. We just want to make sure everything's marked correctly. On the intake, there is this bracket that needs to be taken loose. There's a bolt on top and a bolt that goes on the bottom to your motor mount. You take both those loose so it's nice and floppy so you can get to your other bolts easily. So there's a couple different water lines that you can take loose in order to get your manifold to pop back, because this is what's holding me up taking it off. After all that, there was two more connectors. This one, you have to unbolt this off the thing. So next, we're going to go after our 12s or 14s on the fuel rail here, for the rest of the plenum, and take that off. I'm going to take my injectors off first, and then we'll go after the bottom plenum. So, before you loosen your fuel rail bolts, you got the 17 here with the banjo bolt that you got to take out. Take that out. And then I have my 10 here for the fuel rail, so I can just pull the fuel rail over. And you want to make sure you get all your connectors out of the way for your fuel rail. Okay, so now that that is out of the way, we have awesome access to our 10 here. Get that out of the way. Get our connector here, and I'm going to depress it right now. Boom, boom. And then get all these 12s. And then plenum, I think, should fall out. I got this one I got to push down. Get it out of the way. And yeah, it should come out. So as you can see now, I've kind of pulled things out of the way. There is a couple connectors that feed through this, and there's a knock sensor there. And another, that's for the AC compressor, I think. And so you got to take those out. But then we're going to go ahead and go after our bolts. And I'm just going to leave this in, just kind of lay it out of the way, because this one that could be in the way. So we're going to pull our valve cover off up top here. Get all these 10s and pull our wire harness up off the back. And so hopefully I'll show you the intake, and then I'll show you the valve cover. So it's off, and you can see which cylinder was leaking really bad. That was that one. So then we're going to take our valve cover off. Okay, so I kind of fast forward a little bit, so I got my belt off here, and that's a 14, and the 14 just gets loose that way. You're going to rotate it till you get 0, to get your valve cover off, and then look back here, there is a dot, a double dot, and a dot, and you want to line those two up. Okay, so like I said, you want to make sure you're the dot here in the back. You line up here, you got your 0 down there, and then we're going to pop these out, and then we're going to use a spanner, break this loose, and then we're going to zip tie our sprocket to our chain, and just kind of lay it down here so it's nice and steady, and then we're going to take our 12s here off our tensioner. So this is a 19 or 3/4, and then you want to take a 6x1 bolt and feed it all the way through until it comes out the other side, so it locks your time in advance gear here, just like that. So now I'll zip tie my camshaft sprocket and just lay it down on there, and the head should come up, and then we'll take our tensioner off. So now that I got everything, these two bolts loose, my things here, I have just basically a wood block. It's basically what it is, and push against here, tensioner going, and it keeps that in place. Okay, so now what I did is I had that cleaned all these, and then tell you exactly which way they go to the exhaust side, which is the intake side, and then what I like doing is I like just marking it over again, just so I'm double sure I'm doing the correct thing. I'm gonna lay them out in my drawer. The next steps I'm going to do from the outside in, so this is 1, and then 2, 3, 4, and 5. It goes through both sides the same way. So, now that the cams are out, I went and I marked all my followers, my lifters, whatever you want to call them, and marked them. So we're going to take them out and put them back in the cart. So now the lifters are out, so I got 12.14mm bolts, and I've already cracked them loose. And you want to go from like the outside in so the head doesn't warp, because they're really bad about warping. Or the inside. After all the fallers out, you want to get your 14mm 12 points, and do like a crossword actions 1, 2, 3, 4, and then so on forth, because they're really bad about cracking. Alright, now that all my bolts are out, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pry on it a little bit. I might have some stuff here in the back. I'm not too sure yet, but once that's moved forward a little bit, it might be a little easier. I'm going to have to take this inlet hose tube off and that off before I go to the machine shop. And if you're going to take it to the machine shop, you might want to get some new ones of these. Usually when they go to the machine shop, they get baked and they get ruined. So if you get a couple of these in your kit, it's probably a bust for your injectors. So now that my head's moved away from the block a little bit, you got better access to this water outlet pipe. It's got the sensor on it, so get that out. So now the head's off, you can see which cylinders were leaking. This one is the worst because it's like steam washed. You see it's super clean compared to these other ones. And that is the culprit right there. You can see where it's heating through the gasket on this side. You see that? So that's where it failed. It failed pretty badly. So hopefully there's no cracks in our head when we go to the machine shop. And I'm right. So you saw the coolant in the holes, and I wiped it out. And what you want to do is you want to spray some WD-40 in there because it's water displacement, so it keeps the water from rusting the cylinders. And so you just want to kind of spray on everything else that might rust it, especially if you're going to be not getting to it for a little bit. Just give it a nice little coat of oil, and it won't rust on you. So you want to make sure you get everything off the razor blade, maybe in some Scotch-Brite. I usually scrape, and then I spray with some carb spray, and then see if there's any black spots and black spots of leftover gasket material. Just want nothing left over. So everything looks really good now, so we're going to go to the next step. Alright, so I've cleaned my valve cover off, and now I'm going to do the process of changing the seals and stuff. And if you're like me, you got one of these tools, right? So it goes in there and it rips your seal out and you can't get it out. So the best thing to do is you take a flat blade screwdriver and you go in there and you just wrench it sideways like that. It pops it up and just work it around. And eventually, it's going to come out just like that. I'm going to take my neck seals and then I'm just going to kind of drive them in here. Some you can do this, some you can't. You might have to get a flat tool. No, I have to use both hands, but you get the idea. Okay, so now that the seals are in, I got my gasket back in. Now it's good to go back in. Right. Howdy, fixers. So that is how you take the head off your Toyota pickup on your 2.7 Toyota Tacoma from like 96 up to 2005. And that is it. I'm not going to make a part 2 because I took it apart and then I went on vacation and I came back and it was already put back together for me. So that will only be one part. So the main thing from this is that you want to make sure that you put something in there that keeps your chain from moving, so you don't want it to drop off your crank on the bottom, and you want to make sure that your chain on your cam gear stays into place. The other thing is that there's you want to make sure those little dots are lined up on your cams. If those aren't lined up correctly, then you could have issues where you could have a vibration later if you don't put that little bolt. And what you want to do is you want to put a bolt in there that's the same length as that cam, because that way you're able to turn it if you have to adjust valves later down the road. Hopefully this is helpful, even though it's not the full video, which I was hoping for, but I got so much footage and I thought it'd still be helpful that I put it out there for somebody to watch. If you have any questions or anything like that, just comment down below. I'll try to answer the best of my knowledge. If you have any questions about anything else, just let me know down in the comments down below. If you like this, just let me know. Trying to make stuff a little more involved as far as details and stuff like that, because sometimes I skip over that stuff because I know I'm always thinking about the small details, but I try to get everything in there for you guys. So if you've already subscribed, appreciate it. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button and let me know that you like it. And you know, and for those who have subscribed, I just really appreciate it. And yeah, just really super happy with how many people have subscribed to my channel. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.